Sandwalking isn't just some beachside stroll you do on vacation. It's one of the most underrated lower body transformation tools that can completely reshape how your legs look, feel, and perform in ways that no gym machine ever could. Most people think walking on sand is just harder regular walking, but I'm going to show you what really happens to your entire lower body when you start training on this unstable surface consistently. The first thing that changes, your calves become absolute powerhouses. This one might seem obvious, but you're going to want to hear why your calves need this specific type of challenge. When you walk on sand, your feet sink with every step, forcing your calf muscles to work 2 to 3 times harder than they would on solid ground. Your gastrocnemius and soleus muscles have to fire intensely just to push off and propel you forward through that shifting surface. Studies show that sand walking can increase calf muscle activation by up to 300% compared to regular walking. Your Achilles tendon gets stronger and more elastic, acting like a natural spring system. You can actually feel your calves transforming within just a few sessions of sand walking. They become more defined, more powerful, and you'll notice that push-off power in every other activity you do. It doesn't have to be a marathon beach walk to be effective. Even 15 to 20 minutes of sand walking starts this transformation. This is one of the most natural ways to build incredible calf strength and definition without the monotony of calf raises or the complexity of plyometric training. Sand walking lights up your entire foot and ankle complex too. All those tiny stabilizing muscles in your feet, your intrinsic foot muscles, and the stabilizers around your ankles that help you maintain balance on unstable ground. You know that person who never rolls their ankle, who seems to have cat-like balance on any surface? That's sand walking energy. What feels like a simple beach walk at first quietly sets off a chain reaction, and you'll see one of the biggest shifts your lower body will have later in this video. But have you ever noticed how most people walk like they're on autopilot? Ever seen someone who moves like they're just going through the motions, with no real connection to how their feet interact with the ground? Flat, lazy steps with no real engagement. That's not just poor movement quality, that's years of walking on predictable, flat surfaces that never challenge your body's natural movement systems. Sand walking reverses that completely. To walk effectively on sand, every muscle in your lower body has to wake up and coordinate. Your feet have to grip and adapt to the shifting surface. Your ankles constantly adjust to maintain stability. Your calves fire powerfully to overcome the resistance. That constant adaptation retrains your entire lower body movement system to be more responsive, more powerful, and more resilient.
After a few weeks, you'll catch yourself moving with better balance, more spring in your step, and that natural athletic grace that comes from training your body the way it was designed to move. And once your lower body starts working as an integrated system again, something else clicks into place. Your glutes transform in a way that's impossible to replicate with traditional exercises. Forget hip thrusts and glute bridges. Sandwalking builds the kind of functional glute strength that makes real life feel effortless. Why? Because the moment you step onto sand, your glutes have to work overtime to stabilize your pelvis and drive you forward through that unstable surface. Your glute max fires powerfully with every step to prevent your hips from collapsing inward. Your glute med works constantly to keep your pelvis level as you navigate the uneven terrain. Your glute min activates as a deep stabilizer, maintaining hip alignment with every stride. These aren't isolated contractions like you get in the gym. This is your entire glute complex working exactly as it was designed to work, as a coordinated team that powers human movement. Your glutes wake up from years of sitting-induced hibernation and remember what it feels like to be the powerhouse of your lower body. It also activates muscles most people never think about, like the deep hip rotators and pelvic floor muscles that create true core stability from the ground up. This isn't about building Instagram glutes, it's about building glutes that actually work better in real life. You'll feel it every time you climb stairs, stand up from a chair, or need powerful hip drive for any activity. At first, it doesn't seem like much. You're just walking on sand, right? But give it a few sessions and your glutes will let you know exactly how much work just happened. The best part? It's the kind of deep muscle engagement that tells you something real is changing. And because it's so scalable, you can walk slowly for endurance and stability work, pick up the pace for cardiovascular conditioning, or add variations like sand running or lateral movements to challenge different movement patterns. Now, before we move on to how sand walking completely rewires your balance and coordination, I need to pause here because this is something so many people struggle with. Sand walking is incredibly effective, but here's the thing. If you're dealing with tight calves, weak glutes, or poor ankle mobility, you might find sandwalking exhausting or even uncomfortable at first. That's exactly why I created my comprehensive ebook that teaches you how to heal your body through targeted stretching and strategic workouts. This isn't just another generic fitness guide. It's a complete system that addresses the movement restrictions and muscle imbalances that might be limiting your performance in activities like sandwalking.
The ebook walks you through step-by-step stretching routines to unlock tight calves and ankles, strengthen weak glutes and stabilizers, and restore the natural movement patterns that make sandwalking feel effortless instead of exhausting. It's like having a personal movement specialist guiding you through exactly what your body needs to perform at its best. You can grab it using the link in the description below, and trust me, it's the perfect foundation for getting the most out of sandwalking. But anyway, let's get back to that coordination benefit. Sandwalking is like proprioceptive training disguised as a beach walk. It completely rewires your balance and body awareness in ways that carry over to every other movement you do. Walking on sand challenges your proprioception, that's your body's ability to sense its position in space. Every step on that shifting surface forces your nervous system to process information from your feet, ankles, knees, and hips to keep you stable and moving efficiently. This enhanced body awareness naturally carries over into everything else you do. Your nervous system becomes more responsive and adaptive. Your balance improves dramatically, your coordination sharpens, and your body learns to react quicker to unexpected challenges. Over time, this adds up to fewer ankle rolls, better performance in sports, and a body that moves with confidence on any surface. There's something about the constant micro-adjustments required for sandwalking that makes your nervous system incredibly sharp and responsive. Sandwalking demands focus and presence. You can't zone out or let your mind wander like you might on a treadmill. And when your calves are burning, your glutes are firing, and your balance is being challenged with every step, but you keep going anyway, that's mental toughness. That's the kind of resilience that carries over to everything else in life. This isn't just physical training, it's confidence training. And this might be my favorite benefit from sandwalking. It teaches you that you can adapt to challenging conditions, that your body is more capable than you think, and that unstable doesn't mean unsafe. Once you build that adaptability, other physical challenges don't feel nearly as intimidating. But here's where sandwalking gets really interesting for your quads and hamstrings. The unstable surface forces these muscle groups to work in completely different ways than they do during regular walking or gym exercises. Your quadriceps have to work eccentrically to control your descent into the sand with each step, while also working concentrically to drive you up and forward. This constant switching between muscle actions builds incredible strength and endurance in ways that traditional exercises just can't match. Your hamstrings work overtime as dynamic stabilizers, helping to control your leg swing and prepare for landing on that unpredictable surface.
They're constantly adjusting and adapting, which builds the kind of reactive strength that prevents injuries and improves performance in sports and daily activities. The result is legs that don't just look better, but actually function better in the real world where surfaces aren't always predictable and movements aren't always planned. But let's talk about something most people never consider: how sandwalking completely transforms your metabolic system. Walking on sand can burn 1.5 to 2 times more calories than walking on solid ground at the same pace. Your body has to work much harder to overcome the resistance and instability, which means your heart rate climbs higher and stays elevated longer. This isn't just about burning more calories during the walk, though. The unique muscle recruitment patterns and energy demands of sandwalking create what's called excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. Your metabolism stays elevated for hours after you finish, continuing to burn calories as your body recovers and adapts to the training stimulus. The combination of resistance training and cardiovascular challenge makes sandwalking one of the most efficient fat-burning activities you can do. You're building muscle and burning fat simultaneously, which is exactly what you want for that lean, athletic look that everyone's chasing. And here's something that will blow your mind. Sandwalking is incredible for your fascia and connective tissue health. Fascia is that web-like connective tissue that wraps around all your muscles, and it responds incredibly well to the varied, multi-directional forces that sandwalking provides. Traditional exercise often moves your body in predictable, repetitive patterns that can cause fascial restrictions over time. But sandwalking forces your fascia to stretch, twist, and adapt in 3-dimensional patterns that keep it healthy and supple.
This leads to better movement quality, reduced stiffness, and that fluid, athletic way of moving that you see in people who spend time training on natural surfaces. Your ankles in particular get an incredible fascial and mobility benefit from sandwalking. The constant micro-adjustments required to navigate the shifting surface take your ankles through ranges of motion that most people never experience in daily life.
This helps prevent the ankle stiffness that plagues so many people who spend their days in shoes on flat surfaces. Over time, you'll notice your ankles becoming more mobile, more stable, and more resilient. This carries over to better performance in sports, fewer overuse injuries, and just generally feeling more confident and capable when you're walking or running on uneven terrain. Now let's dive into how sandwalking affects your biomechanics in ways that improve your entire kinetic chain. When you walk on sand, your body naturally adopts more efficient movement patterns. You can't rely on the ground to provide stability, so your core has to engage more deeply to maintain balance and control. This forced core engagement teaches your body how to create stability from the inside out, which is exactly how your core is supposed to function in real life. Your diaphragm, pelvic floor, and deep abdominal muscles learn to work together as an integrated system rather than isolated parts. The unstable surface also encourages a more natural foot strike pattern. Instead of the heel-heavy landing that many people develop from walking on hard surfaces in cushioned shoes, sandwalking promotes a more midfoot landing that's gentler on your joints and more efficient for force transfer. This improved biomechanics doesn't just make sandwalking more effective, it carries over to how you move in all other activities. You'll find yourself naturally adopting better posture, more efficient movement patterns, and experiencing less joint stress in everything from climbing stairs to playing sports. Sandwalking also provides unique benefits for injury prevention and rehabilitation. The unstable surface forces your muscles to work through full ranges of motion while providing natural resistance that's impossible to replicate with machines or weights. For people recovering from ankle sprains, knee issues, or hip problems, sandwalking can be an incredibly valuable rehabilitation tool. The surface provides enough challenge to stimulate adaptation and strength gains, but the give of the sand reduces impact forces and provides a more forgiving environment for healing tissues. Physical therapists often recommend sandwalking for people with chronic ankle instability, plantar fasciitis, or other lower extremity issues, because it addresses multiple problems simultaneously, building strength, improving balance, enhancing proprioception, and promoting healthy movement patterns. Even if you're not dealing with injuries, the injury prevention benefits of sandwalking are substantial. The strength, stability, and movement quality you develop from regular sandwalking create a protective effect that reduces your risk of common injuries like ankle sprains, knee pain, and overuse injuries from repetitive activities. Here's another benefit that most people overlook. Sandwalking is incredible for your lymphatic system.
The constant muscle contractions and varied movement patterns help pump lymphatic fluid throughout your body, which supports immune function, reduces inflammation, and promotes recovery. The lymphatic system doesn't have a central pump like your cardiovascular system does. It relies on muscle contractions and movement to circulate lymphatic fluid. The unique muscle activation patterns of sandwalking provide an excellent stimulus for lymphatic circulation, which can help reduce swelling, speed recovery, and even improve your skin health. Many people notice that they feel less puffy and more energized after regular sandwalking sessions, and this lymphatic benefit is a big part of why. It's like giving your body's natural detoxification system a boost while you're building strength and endurance. A few common mistakes can take away from the benefits of sandwalking, but they're easy to fix once you know what to look for. So here are the top 3 mistakes people make. First, avoid starting with long distances or soft sand right away. This puts unnecessary stress on your calves and can lead to overuse injuries. Instead, start with firmer sand near the water's edge and shorter distances, building your capacity gradually, like you're investing in your long-term leg health. Another issue is poor foot strike. Some people try to walk on sand the same way they walk on pavement, but that doesn't work. Let your feet sink slightly and adapt to the surface rather than fighting it. Work with the sand, not against it. And third, don't ignore the recovery demands. Sand walking is more demanding than regular walking, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Your calves, glutes, and stabilizers are working much harder than usual, so make sure you're allowing adequate recovery between sessions. Now you're probably wondering, all right, this all sounds good, but how do I actually start and how often should I be doing this? Don't worry, I got you covered. If you're just starting out,
Find a beach or even a volleyball court with sand. Start with just 10-15 minutes of walking on firmer sand, 2 to 3 times per week. Focus on letting your body adapt to the surface, rather than trying to maintain your normal walking pace. Once you feel more comfortable, you can bump things up to longer distances, softer sand, or more frequent sessions. You might progress to 30 to 45 minutes of sand walking, or start incorporating intervals where you vary your pace and intensity. Advanced sand walkers can explore running on sand, lateral movements, or plyometric exercises that take advantage of the sand's impact-absorbing properties while still providing resistance. The key is gradual progression that respects your body's adaptation timeline. Sand walking challenges your muscles and nervous system in unique ways, so patience with the process will give you the best long-term results. Remember, this isn't about suffering through punishing beach workouts.
It's about reconnecting with a movement challenge that brings out the best in your lower body's natural design. Start where you are, progress at your own pace, and watch as sand walking transforms not just how your legs look and feel, but how confidently you move through the world. And listen, if you're serious about maximizing your results from sand walking, you need to check out my comprehensive ebook on healing your body through stretching and strategic exercise. Start sand walking today, grab the ebook in the description to optimize your foundation and watch your legs become the strong, resilient powerhouse you were meant to have.